What is up, Z Fighters? It's Manga Adventures, and I'm here to bring you part 2 of this What If. So sit back because we're jumping right into it. The Z Fighters arrive on Namek with Caulifla's crew, who introduce themselves to Gohan and Krillin on the way. We find out their names are Bujin, an ex-member of the Frieza Force, Beto, an ex-mercenary for hire, Kogu, an ex-Galactic Patrol member, and Zyga, someone who was founded and protected by Caulifla when they were both kids. Yes, these are the names of Bojack's henchmen, but this is so you can identify with them easier. They aren't the same character. Caulifla's group isn't the talkative type, so they don't go into details of their backstories. So Namek's trip is mostly a quiet one with mental training. Next to arrive is Vegeta, who got followed by his old friend Kui, but thanks to his Zenkai boost from Earth, he makes quick work of his former equal. But his rise in power gets him noticed by Frieza and his forces, who are also on Namek. They've been there for a while, having already collected 4 Dragon Balls. Our heroes run across Frieza trying to get his 5th Dragon Ball, and thanks to their scouters being broken by the Namekians, they go undetected. They watch on in horror as the Namekians are slaughtered, but Caulifla's crew tells them not to intervene because that is the Frieza. You'll die if you try anything. But even after saying all that, when the children start dying, it's Bujin who jumps in to save the last one. He's quickly recognized by Dodoria, who used to be his superior. He mocks him as everyone escapes, saying he never had the stomach for killing children. Dodoria chases after the group, thinking it's his responsibility, but he's ambushed by Vegeta, who makes quick work of him. After this, the prince goes to a nearby Namekian village and kills them for their Dragon Ball, though he doesn't get far. Zarbon soon finds him, and although base to base Vegeta is around equal strength, when Zarbon transforms into a monster, he has the upper hand. Though lucky for him, he hid the Dragon Ball he stole, so they need to heal him in hopes of getting information. While all this was going on, the Z Fighters have successfully escaped with Dende and head to Elder Guru. They all get their potentials unleashed, each gaining power levels varying from 12,000 to 14,000. And they also get the Dragon Ball Guru was in possession of. Backtracking to Vegeta, he's healed up, which is a big problem for Frieza since he steals all the Dragon Balls on the ship. It doesn't take him long to track down the Z Fighters, but he's followed by Zarbon, who he beats thanks to his 2nd Zenkai boost. Once he does this, he demands that the Z Fighters give him their Dragon Ball, but they refuse, saying, "We have you outnumbered 6-1. Vegeta laughs, saying, "You don't know how to count." And while everyone is confused, he disappears, reappearing only to blast a hole through Bujin. He then looks at the others and says, "He won't last long. Now you have a choice. Save your friend or die fighting me." They ultimately make the tough decision to hand over the Dragon Ball and take Bujin to Guru in hopes of healing. With the last Dragon Ball in hand, Vegeta heads to where he hid the others, only to be blasted from behind by Beto, Kogu, and Zanga. The 3 task Gohan and Krillin to take their teammate to Guru since they want revenge. Nobody gets away with harming their own, a philosophy instilled in them by Caulifla. Vegeta gets irritated with them for throwing away his hospitality. The trio is able to maneuver around the prince, not making the mistake of underestimating him. With years of teamwork, they're able to hold him off for a little while, but it doesn't take long for him to get a clear shot to kill one of them. But before he can, 5 pods land, and just from the power alone, he realizes who they are. Frieza must have called the Ginyu force. He decides not to kill them, instead rushing off to get the Dragon Balls, because the situation isn't looking good, with Caulifla's crew following close behind. Though when he arrives, he's met by Ginyu, who takes all the Dragon Balls and leaves his men behind. Since Beto is an ex-mercenary, he knows all about the Ginyu Force and their abilities, since they're the ones who took all the best jobs in the galaxy. With teamwork, they're able to beat Goldo, but even with Vegeta's assistance, they're unable to overcome the sheer power of Raccoon. Though, as all seems lost, here comes the arrival of Goku and Caulifla. The two decide to split up, Caulifla going towards the 3 faded energies of her crew, which is much closer, and Goku going to Gohan and Krillin, which is further away. When Caulifla arrives, she gives a senzu bean to each of her 3 teammates and even Vegeta, since she doesn't know the whole situation and isn't upset about the whole Great 8 ordeal. She quickly takes out Raccoon before he can even react, shocking everyone with her power. When Jace and Birder try rushing her, she easily takes out Birder, causing Jace to flee and get Ginyu. She squats down in front of her crew, telling him, "I promised Goku I wouldn't kill anyone while we were here, but if you try attacking my crew again, that goes out the window." She spits on the ground. Though in an instance completely disregarding what she said, Vegeta kills both Berta and Raccoon. Before she could react, her crew runs up to her and tells her that Vegeta shot a hole through Bujin and he might not make it. This causes a vein to appear on her head as she walks up to Vegeta saying, "He did what?" The prince laughs, announcing it's too late to try and intimidate me. Thanks to that being, I've greatly surpassed you, so you can go ahead and call me the legendary Super Saiyan. Caulifla responds with, "You really shouldn't underestimate." But the prince doesn't listen and attacks anyway. Now Vegeta, after gaining his third Zenkai, was able to hold his own against first form Frieza. He even believed he could beat Frieza if he worked together with Gohan and Krillin, so that puts his power level at around 500,000. If you remember, Caulifla, when she arrived on Earth, had a power level of 20,000. That's 2.5 times stronger than Goku's 8,000. Not only did she gain a Zenkai after being beaten by graded Vegeta, she also trained with Goku for a week under intense gravities during their trip. Saiyans are known to grow vastly stronger if they train with or under someone. So we take into account Goku, who originally had a power level of 90,000 when he arrived on Namek, and multiply that by the difference between him and Caulifla on Earth, 2.5 times, we have a power level of 225,000. Not enough to take down Vegeta, but she learned a little trick while waiting for Goku to recover and train with him, the Kaioken. She doesn't hesitate and goes straight to Kaioken times 3, easily overpowering the confident Vegeta with a power level of 675,000. This is Vegeta's first time facing the technique in the What If, so he wasn't ready for the quick burst in power, unable to keep up. After a few rounds of having the prince feel helpless and her letting off some steam, the fight is interrupted by Ginyu, who was amazed at Caulifla's power and had to take her body for his own. He jumps between them at the perfect time and does a body swap. Though this is actually in Vegeta's favor, since Ginyu doesn't know how to use Caulifla's full power, only about 25%, so 56,000, and he can't even use the Kaioken. Even weakened, this isn't a threat for Vegeta, who happily wails on her, saying she needs to learn her place. And when Jace tries saving his captain, he's blasted into dust. Ginyu is understandably confused. This body was manhandling Vegeta a second ago. What's going on? Vegeta, thinking his revenge is finished and seeing no point in leaving a disobedient Saiyan alive, especially one stronger than him, charges full force in hopes of crushing Caulifla's body in the most painful way, only for Ginyu to decide and take his body instead. But Caulifla jumps in the way, getting hers back. Ginyu, not missing a beat, redirects his attention to Vegeta again, trying to switch bodies, only to be swapped by a nearby frog thrown by Caulifla. Even though Caulifla has her body back and the Ginyu force is defeated, she is still too weak to move, Vegeta doing a real number on her. The prince flies over her, feeling in power, until he senses two insanely high power levels that dwarf his. One is Kakarot's, so the other one must be Frieza's. Has he been holding back this whole time? Vegeta weighs his options before flying off in search of the Dragon Balls once again, assuming they'd be on Frieza's main ship. Meanwhile, Caulifla's crew takes her to a nearby healing pod since all the senzu beans are gone. Now let's see what Goku was doing on his side. Before all this, he arrives to see Dende healing Bujin while Gohan and Krillin watch, though he's met by Frieza, who's looking for the password to use the Dragon Balls. Goku, of course, isn't about to let that happen. With a power level of 225,000, same as Caulifla's, a Kaioken times 3 is enough to push Frieza into his second form, though Frieza doesn't know just how high the Kaioken can go at this point. Goku uses a times 5 on the second form, bringing his power level close to Frieza's at over 1 million. This would be the energy that Vegeta felt. Frieza doesn't like being on even grounds at all and jumps to his third form, only for Goku to close the gap with a Kaioken times 10. Now this battle goes on longer than you think. Long enough for Caulifla to finish healing and for Frieza to realize he's had enough and turns into his final form. Goku believes he can make a difference with the Kaioken times 20, but Frieza just laughs, saying, "I'm not even using 5% of my power," before introducing Goku to the Namekian ground face first. He begins torturing the Saiyan for making him go to his final form and threatens to kill him if they don't give him the password. Gohan, Nail, Krillin, and a newly healed Bujin try to help but are easily swatted away. He then tells them the next person to interfere will die, causing all of them to shake in fear. The only one able to get Frieza off Goku is Caulifla, who catches the tyrant off guard. Her power level has shot up after healing, standing at a whopping 7,500,000, 2.5 times stronger than Goku was after healing in canon. Now Frieza wants to be a man of his word and fires a death beam straight at Caulifla, but she easily deflects it. Even when Frieza fires a flurry of them, she deflects them all one by one. Gohan uses this opportunity to get his father to Dende for healing. Now, Frieza isn't too happy with his attacks being blocked, so he charges forward. Even with Caulifla's boost, she isn't able to beat the tyrant, but she still has the Kaioken. She hasn't had it as long as Goku, so let's say she can only go up to times 10, making Frieza use 60% of his power. After an exchange of blows, Frieza unfortunately comes out on top and tries firing a death beam to finish things once and for all, only for Bujin to push Caulifla out the way while Krillin and Nail distract him, though this leads to all their death. Caulifla watches Bujin in disbelief as his energy fades. He tells her, "Thanks for the good times, boss. Sorry we couldn't continue on a little more." Goku is also in shock seeing his best friend die for the second time. They both look at Frieza's cocky smirk and their angers flow. Power levels rise and both of them turn blonde. Goku and Caulifla have done it. They've transformed into Super Saiyan. A 50 times multiplier puts them at 375 million. Frieza is done for. When one Super Saiyan attacks, before he can react, another one throws a blow. He isn't even able to blow up Namek because when he tries, Caulifla kicks the blast upward. Now, Caulifla is ready to kill the tyrant, but Goku stops her saying, "We can bring Bujin back." But she tells him that isn't the point. "This is the first time I've ever lost someone because I wasn't strong enough. I'm frustrated more at myself than anything." Goku promises they'll get stronger together, but Frieza ruins the touching moment with an attack, just to get countered by a combined blast from the two, seemingly killing him, but in reality, he's floating around in space. With that taken care of, they both power down the base and go find the Dragon Balls, which is an easy task thanks to the Dragon Radar. They arrive to find Vegeta trying to use them, but he's quickly dispatched. They begin making their wishes, first bringing Piccolo back to life, which brings back Earth's Dragon Balls. They then bring back everyone killed by Frieza and his men on Namek with the Earth Dragon, which unfortunately doesn't include those killed by Vegeta since he technically wasn't one of his men at the time. Their second wish on the Namekian Dragon Balls is to bring all alive non-natives back to Earth, unintentionally including Vegeta. Their last wish is to teleport their planet safely away so they don't get found by Frieza and his men. With everyone back, the first thing Caulifla does is apologize to her crew for letting them down. She wants to stay on Earth to get stronger with Goku, and they're free to leave if they want. None of them choose that option, instead staying on Earth with her and growing stronger as well. With that, the only thing left is to stay in touch with Namek so they can bring back their friends who died against Vegeta in 130 days. With that, we're done with part 2. With such a massive increase in power, how do you think they'll handle their androids? We'll just have to see. I already know people won't agree with my power scaling, but there's just no way to pinpoint a Zenkai increase or the results of training if you add someone to the equation that wasn't previously there, so I just did my best. If you believe it's a ×2, that could be plausible, but it wouldn't affect my what if much. The only increase that would be ×1.5, but that would be more of a problem on Goku's side, though I feel things would still turn out for the best. Now, I'm curious how you guys would have tackled the situation, whether it be power scaling or the story, so leave a comment below. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you stay tuned for part 3.